Hi everybody, I know it's been a minute since I made a video on this channel, but today I'm here to discuss my top lessons from 2025. This year has been a total doozy for me. Most noteworthily, I got married and my husband and I moved into our first house together, so it's been a huge transition and it has been some of the most beautiful time of my life. And with that, the first lesson that I learned this year is that I was never meant to be alone. When I was growing up and into my teens and early 20s, I always felt really isolated and disconnected from other people. I just never really felt like other people fully understood me, and same from me to them. It just felt like I was an outsider looking in on the world, and of course I had people in my life who love me and support me, but I never really felt that true connection until I met my husband. And getting married this year has just really confirmed for me that connection that we do have and how special it is, and I'm just seeing such a change in myself and in him for the better, where we're both just so much more motivated to work towards the big, hairy, audacious dreams and goals that we have. Like, we are able to inspire and motivate each other just by virtue of the fact that we share common values and a common outlook on life. That makes it just makes it feel so much more possible to reach for the things that you want to reach for when there's somebody right next to you who understands your desires and your hopes, even if they don't share them the exact same. And of course, part of our connection that we share is just innate. It's the fact that who I am and who he is just go together really well. But I also attribute our compatibility and our success in our relationship to the amount of intention and attention we put into figuring out what we wanted out of our relationship when we were dating. The biggest thing we did by far was create what I like to call our marriage constitution. Basically, we took a big sheet of questions about everything you could possibly need to know when you're getting into a relationship with someone, what their idea is of a marriage, of a husband, of a wife, what they expect support-wise when they're going through times of struggle, how you want to raise kids, your spiritual views, literally every single topic you could think of. We took these questions and we each answered them independently on our own time without discussing them with each other. And the point of this was just to really get down our most honest, real answers on paper without trying to please the other person or say what they wanted to hear. And once we had filled those out to completion, we came together and we discussed our answers. And this was a really, really powerful exercise because the point of our discussion after we had filled out our answers was not for one of us to say, okay, well, I think my answer is better, so we should go with mine, or vice versa. It was about looking at both answers, treating them with equal care, and figuring out how they could be compatible with each other. Like, if I want X and he wants Y, how can X and Y both happen in a way that makes us both happy? This exercise was super meaningful to us, and the marriage constitution that we created based on these questions is something that we refer back to constantly and will continue to refer back to in the years to come. And because I found it so helpful, I actually created an ebook that includes all of those questions, as well as a lot of tips and tricks surrounding dating in this weird modern world, and that's completely free to download. I'll have it linked down below, but make sure to check that out because it's been a total game changer for our relationship. And I know for me personally that dating has always been kind of a sore spot in my life, and the fact that I was able to go from constantly dating people who just did not align with me at all to now being married to someone who just completely lights me up and makes me feel like the best version of myself, it's been just pretty much a miraculous shift. With all the excitement that happened in 2025, at the same time, 2025 was not at all what I thought it would be. The last video I posted on this channel was from early this summer, and I had every intention of continuing to post over the course of the summer and everything, but it just so happened that as I was starting to work on my next video for this channel, and coincidentally on the very day that my husband and I got the keys to our new house, I injured my foot really badly and I wasn't able to walk or do any of the things that I was planning on doing. Cooking, cleaning, working the same job that I had been working at. So many of the things that I had just assumed would happen this year totally did not go according to plan. And because of this, the next lesson that I learned this year was that I need to be able to ask for help, specifically from my husband. And I will say I definitely learned this the hard way because I really pride myself on being self-sufficient and stoic and being able to get things done. But in the state I was in, physically incapacitated, unable to do things for myself, and just struggling to do the daily tasks that were really my kind of bare minimum routine for, the past however many years, being in that vulnerable of a position really forced me to learn how to ask for help. And this was honestly pretty humbling, but it's been such a gift to our relationship and our marriage. It's enabled us to communicate better, and also it has deepened our connection a lot because it really kind of blew up the idea that I am self-sufficient and I can do things on my own. I've always been that way, but getting married is really about committing to somebody, obviously, you know, in sickness and in health, for richer and for poorer, but having such a big in-your-face injury limitation to confront, really, it was challenging, but more than anything, it was just a really beautiful lesson to be able to ask for help and to see how much my husband does want to help me and show up for me, care for me, provide for me in all of the ways that I only ever imagined before. It was that season over the summer was really putting into practice some of the concepts that we had only ever discussed in theory up until that point. Now, some of the lessons that I learned this year were kind of paradoxical because at the same time that I was learning to ask for help, I also learned that working hard is really, really good for me. And I see this in every aspect of my life, mental and physical. When I have a project that I'm working on, whether that's just going to the gym regularly or having something intellectual that my brain can chew on, that is such a good outlet for me. And not just a good outlet, but like a completely vital and necessary one. If my brain doesn't have something to work on, if there is no outlet for me to expend my energy, basically my mind will just start to chew on itself. And I think this is honestly just a human thing. Human beings are naturally creative, and when you don't have an outlet for that creative energy, it's going to go to bad places. Having projects has been super gratifying for me and really good for my mental health. Along with working out, like lifting weights heavy, it's been so good for me physically, but also mentally, because to burn off your energy, to exhaust yourself, it just brings a lot of peace into your mind. Now, again, this might seem contradictory, but as I was learning how good it is for me to be working hard, I also learned the lesson that if I don't rest, God will make. And this happened several times over the course of the year, most notably when I broke my foot over the summer. But this also just goes along with needing to ask for help and not try to do everything myself. There's been a lot of humbling that I have run into this year, as you may notice. It's a common theme throughout this video. As exciting as it was to get married and have our beautiful special wedding day, I just can't help but think of the future and all that we will accomplish together. Like I mentioned, my husband and I both have really big goals for our lives, and we are working together to achieve them. And us getting married was only the very beginning of this whole entire life that we are going to live together, and all of the things that we are going to accomplish with each other right by our side. And just as a fun little bookend to the end of this year, I actually re-injured my same foot yesterday, which is what inspired me to get on here and make this YouTube video. When I first broke my foot over the summer, I wasn't able to work the job that I had been working, but because of that limitation, I found a new opportunity and was able to make much more money. So call me delusional, but this re-injury of my foot is telling me that it's time to jump into my next wealth era. And that brings me to my final lesson of 2025, which is that I get to decide what kind of person I am. As I look forward into 2026, I have a lot of goals, I have a lot of plans, I have a lot of projects, and I get to decide that I'm the kind of person who completes those, who achieves the things that I want to achieve. And even if the odds are not stacked in my favor, I get to decide that I'm the kind of person that is the exception to any and all rules, limitations, or blocks that other people might experience. So in 2026 on this channel, you can expect to see content about marriage, kind of learning as I go, as well as content about dating, because there is no shortage of advice I could give in that realm, as well as general self-improvement content, because that's something that is very near and dear to my heart and something I'm very passionate about. Let me know in the comments what your top lessons of 2025 were, as well as your goals for 2026. And remember, the best is yet to come. You get to decide the kind of person you want to be. So make sure to check out that dating ebook down below if you're interested, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you again shortly. Thank you.